Boom. All right. Hello, and welcome to the Rock Metal Podcast. I am your host, John Harris. On my left-hand side is my right-hand man, Gabriel.
We got some shadows. We have to aim it to the light.
You got to aim those shadows to the light. You got to bring your shadows to the light. They can't be shadows, or maybe they would be shadows because they're to the light. This is a very deep question. But today on Rock Metal Podcast, we have Unknown Refuge. They've just released some new singles. And right now I'm being joined by what I'm told is the entire band, beer in hand, to share some more information about what they've got going on. A couple of tracks off of their debut album that's going to be coming up. So more information about that. Boys, welcome to the show.
Hello. Thank you.
Hello.
Absolutely great to have you boys on. Now, I guess my first question is take us through this album, because we released a couple of singles. I guess my question is, amidst coronavirus, is this the marketing plan? You guys are delaying the release of the album, release some singles to build momentum, or was this the plan already?
Yeah, we went into recording. Well, we were meant to go into recording before the whole coronavirus thing, but that got put off for a few months. So we then finally got into recording when lockdown restrictions were lifted. So we got all that done, and now it's just we're releasing singles for now. And then when the government gives the go-ahead with all gigs, we want to be able to do an album launch gig for when we officially release the album, which is hopefully early next year.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys yeah. So we get, like, when the album's out, we can gig with it, because we don't really want to, it's not really a good time now, so just start bringing out singles, maybe to, smoothing out the process so we get it out, in time for it.
Yeah, so the album launch is kind of a moving or floating target at this point.
Yeah, it's gonna fluctuate early 2021. We've not put a set date on it yet. So
okay. Okay, perfect. Now, you mentioned you guys went into recording when the lockdown restrictions were lifted. So take us through that process. Did you guys then have more time to focus on maybe the writing of the songs before you went into the studio, or did anything change as a result of having to wait for lockdown restrictions to be lifted?
Go on, Alex, you answer this one.
Songs. Yeah, the writing of the songs was already underway, and we pretty much had the album already there. We decided we were going to get into the studio to record, and then lockdown came about, so everything was just put on delay. So we were kind of just waiting around, doing bits of our own practice, whatever, bits of writing and stuff like that. And then they got lifted, and the guy that we recorded with at Access Studios said, look, we know it's a bit of a rough time at the minute. I'm going to do the first couple of weeks at a discounted price. And we're all like, right, are we all free? Yeah, we're all free, buzzing. And we just got in there as soon as we could.
Well, discounted prices are definitely good. I wonder why he did that. Maybe somebody died in the studio previously. And
I think it was more to do with building up business again. But so I'm not 100%.
After hearing Jack play guitar, I'm not surprised someone died in there.
Well, now, is this the studio that you guys were in for the music video To the Light?
No, that was actually in our rehearsal room, the music video for To the Light.
Okay. Now, I guess maybe take us through this music video, because you have a lyric video for To the Light, and then you have a music video in your rehearsal space for To the Light. Why do you guys like this song so much?
Because it was our debut single, so we kind of wanted to kind of push the single as much as possible. So release a few videos over the next few weeks, well, the weeks after we released it, and I think that kind of helped us get the 10,000 streams on Spotify, which was a very big thing for us. So we've got a lyric video planned for Shadows, which will be coming out over the next few weeks. So, yeah, we've got a few more singles planned, which we're probably going to do videos for as well. We just think it's a good way to kind of gain a bit of traction to the pages.
Mm-hmm. Now, you got a teaser up right now, at time of recording anyway, a teaser up for Shadows. Mm-hmm. I guess take us through that as a marketing, what you would call, plan. What are you guys hoping to do with the teaser?
Well, the teaser that's on Facebook at the moment isn't actually for the lyric video. That was just one for a bit of the track that we wanted to put up. We received one of the draft copies today of the final lyric video. So over the next few days, we will be getting a proper teaser up for the lyric video.
Okay, very cool stuff. Now, going back into the studio time for the record, is it self-produced and then this guy just did the recording? Did he do the mixing? Did he do the mastering? Because you guys have a really good sound on your record, so I'm curious the process behind that.
He did it all, yeah. So we recorded there in a few days, and then he was sort of mixing as he went along, and then he obviously spent a day at the end just fully going for everything, asking us what we wanted. We said we wanted a bit more low end. And yeah, and he mixed it and mastered it, yeah.
And we're proud of it. We're very proud of it.
Beautiful. Now, I guess from that perspective, when the restrictions were lifted and you went into the studio and did all the recording and everything, did you guys then have a plan that has since been changed? I know we're kind of keep going back to the whole coronavirus thing, but what was the plan from there?
With going into the studio, when obviously we knew coronavirus was quite a serious and big thing then. So we were kind of just playing it by ear at the time. Like, there was a few times where we were a bit like, oh, are we able to go to the studio? Are we not? But we were able to in the end. But now it's just, we're waiting for the heads up from the government to say, right, live music venues can open. And then our plan is to just gig it as much as possible. Just get out there all over the country, wherever. Just do what we can to get out there.
Okay, perfect. Now I'm reading the write-up because the write-up that I received for Shadows about a person who was under the influence trying to find his way home. And then whilst under the influence, he turns into the worst version of himself. So is this a concept record about fighting demons, or is this like a one-track thing?
Well, Shadows is kind of a one-track thing. It's like a modern perspective on what a lot of people go through. There's a lot of the songs on the album are about fighting with different things, whether it be, like demons and that, whether it be dragons, depending on the song. It's kind of, yeah, exactly. It's stuff that I'm inspired by, and that when I'm writing the lyrics, it comes to mind. And it follows a few different storylines across the album, but I'd say they kind of stand alone as well. It's not like you can listen to one in the middle and not know what's going on.
Okay. Fighting with different things, demons, dragons, trying to open a jar.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh man, if only I had a refuge from this jar that I just can't open. But Django. Well, the funny thing is, as you guys wrote these lyrics and this concept, turning into the worst version of yourself, is that in reaction to what's going on now in the world, or did you write that beforehand? And I'm kind of looking at what's happened so far with 2020 and going, well, that's kind of odd and eerie that, a lot of people have turned into the worst versions of themselves this year.
It was written beforehand. I can see how people could interpret it that way, but it was written probably almost a year before coronavirus came about. There are a few different things. Like we've already started writing some new tracks, and there are things referencing coronavirus that are going into these songs. Some of the stuff that we've all been through, some of the stuff that's going on with government and what have you, and that is referencing some of the newer stuff that they're writing. But the older stuff, by the time that we got on into the studio, the songs were pretty much written. They were there, so we recorded what we had now, and now we're working on the new stuff that we came up with during the lockdown period.
Mm-hmm. Are you guys able to take us maybe through a bit of that, what the new writing looks like or sounds like, what the plan might be?
Yeah, we've got one track done. We just need to put some words to it and kind of find the melody sort of thing. And we've got a few new riffs that we're working with. That we've all kind of come up with over lockdown. Maybe I've come up with a little drum part sort of thing that we can all start working with towards some new songs. But we just, at the moment, we want to get this album launch out the way, then see how that goes. And then if we can get a bit of money behind us, why not go for album 2 as soon as possible?
Mm-hmm. You mentioned getting a bit of money behind you, and I just finished chatting with a band who did crowdfunding and was able to raise roughly €12,000 for their album release. Is that something you guys would consider?
I'm not sure, really. We've self-funded this album, but with promo-wise and everything, we've had a lot of help from a lot of other people and friends that we know in the business around our area. But it's something we wouldn't say no to, but it's not something we've thought in depth about yet.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Now, I'm listening again to the track Shadows. Obviously, we can chat some more about To the Light. Different kinds of hard rock, I guess you could say. A vibe I really get from Shadows, and this might show my age, is like Load Reload era Metallica.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, we've had a lot of people saying it sounds like Pantera, Marilyn Manson. Which
I can see that.
I think I know.
When I was looking at Rick, I was like, this is Pantera.
If you slowed down Beautiful People by Marilyn Manson, you got that right there.
Yeah, it's kind of it's something that just came because when we wrote it, it was just, I don't really know, it was just something that came naturally. And
we just enjoyed the feel of like that slow, bouncing, driving rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the funny thing is, because I'm obviously meaning it as a compliment. You guys, just by looking at you, you seem very, very young. So I find it interesting that you guys have jumped into a style of music, arguably, that maybe was before your time.
Well, yeah, but it's what we all love listening to and playing, so...
I mean, I hope it comes back, to be honest, because obviously it's more associated with people who were born a lot earlier, but, rock is sort of coming back. Like, I mean, Slipknot, like, the other month, they released an album and got in the top 10 above Ed Sheeran. It's making a move, to be fair, towards younger people. That's kind of what we want to do as well. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that brings up a really good question then, is it sounds like, because back in the day, the rock metal attitude was, taking over the world. That was pretty much the rock metal attitude. From Elvis to the Beatles, all the way up to, speaking of Metallica, that was their whole thing. We're going to take over the world. And I guess I'm kind of missing that from rock bands these days. Is that something you guys are looking to bring back as well? That sort of that chutzpah, that attitude?
We want to contribute, bring it back.
There's a lot of great bands on the UK scene at the moment that us lot have had the pleasure of live. Bands like Massive Wagons, Revival Black. There was a band called Bigfoot who split up, who were brilliant. Gorilla Riot. There's the UK rock and metal scene is doing really well, and there's so many class bands on it, and we just hope that it can bring rock back, because it's slowly coming there. It's slowly coming.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Keep an eye on your food.
Yeah, well.
No worries. I could ask him some questions too if he wants.
Uni accommodation, Jack.
Beautiful. Now, you guys mentioned that you guys are writing some new songs about coronavirus, some things that you've experienced. I guess maybe take us through that. What have you guys experienced, and how have you translating that into music?
Well, a lot of us were out of work or at home because colleges and unis were closed and that. So it's kind of about the isolation, and it's kind of about the frustration with some of the lack of knowledge that's coming about. Like, at first, it was kind of clear set as to what was going on, and in the recent months, it's kind of been a bit all over the place as to what the rules are, what's happening, whether or not it should be happening. So it's kind of a lot of it's about the confusion based around something that's so massive, yet it doesn't seem very clear as to what is actually going on. It's such a big thing that no one's 100% sure about.
Yeah, you mentioned a big word there, confusion. And there's, interestingly enough, not just about the virus, but there's a lot going on, especially in the UK right now, politically as well. And it seems like there's some things that the Prime Minister, I believe, of the UK has gone back on a few times. that may also be leading to some confusion. So I guess it's a very tumultuous time for everybody. But I know in the UK, from what I've read in the news, there's quite a bit going on right now.
Yeah, politically we try and stay out of it, but a general kind of the impression that we're getting is no one really has a clue what's going on, whether it be the government, the police, any parties involved, local authorities, even the people, the workers don't really know what the next step is. So it's kind of about that, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, no one signed up for it.
I didn't sign up for this. Bloody hell. Somebody buggered my onions. Somebody went and buggered me onions.
For me, the whole situation at the moment is just a bit like, well, there's no set way to deal with a pandemic.
We don't do.
What do you do? Nobody knows what to do and what's best to do and all this stuff. So I'm just kind of going with the flow at the moment.
It's funny. We have our chief medical officer for the provinces, and then we have the one for the federal level. And her name is Teresa Tam, and she came out recently and said, no, you guys can do Halloween, just follow the rules. And we just kind of thought, we all know what to do, but how many of us are choosing explicitly to not follow the rules? And I think that's even an interesting concept to write about, that people do, they are being told what to do. But they see that as a violation of their rights.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's as a band, it's politics is something we kind of want to stay away from, because we don't want to, I don't know if scare fans off is the word, but it's just something we don't really want to get into, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because people agree with you and people disagree with you, and the people who disagree will be like straight off you a bit. That's why I don't really see the point of politics in bands. Especially like indie, it's very like left wing, and it's like, people will agree with you, and then some of your fans will disagree with you, and they might not like you because of that. So I don't see the point, to be honest. I think let people have their own opinion.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. All right, well, is there anything that I did not ask about that you guys were hoping I would ask? Like, man, I really wish John would ask this question and he didn't.
How good is Harry at guitar?
How good is Harry at guitar?
Go on, Harry. Do you want to answer that question, lad?
He's okay. He's not. He's nothing special, but he gets by.
I feel like Harry's not spoke enough yet. So go on, Harry. Have your moment.
Well, I don't know. I mean, obviously, I've not been in the band too long, so.
So Harry's answering the question on how good Harry is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
Okay,
here's
making any sense.
Here's an interesting question. I'm watching a music video for To the Light. I don't see Harry.
Yeah, he joined.
Well, yeah, I've only been in the band a few months, so I wasn't in when all that was done. So.
Okay, is that changing the landscape, the sonic landscape for the new music that's being written?
Yes.
Yes, but yeah.
When we wrote when we wrote all of the songs on the album, we were a 4-piece. But our old rhythm guitarist left to go live with his girlfriend in Slovakia. So
that's a bass player move.
I'll have less of that. Thank you very much.
But yeah, so when Sam left, it was kind of just like, all right, lockdown's happening now. Let's just kind of get this album recorded as a 3, so Jack can do rhythm as well on the record, and then let's start looking for someone. So we put a few adverts out, and then we finally met Harry, and we gelled with him straight away. We're into the same sort of stuff, and he's now our best mate.
Aww.
I'm gonna cry.
I think I'm gonna cry too. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, well then I guess that concludes that. Other than I could just ask Harry, how do you like it in the band? But I think you said that you do like it. And then I guess,
great.
Well, I guess so far, yeah.
And then I guess my other question is, getting 2 guitar players together can often be like, 2 male hamsters in a cage. Especially one that plays guitar solos more than we hear vocals. So,
yeah,
what's
still at its bit, isn't it?
Oh, hey guys, watch this. I can. Oh, you want to say that again?
To be fair, I didn't actually write to like guitars before about 3 solos. I was like, oh, you know what? Then I'll just, I'll take them.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna knock one out, am I?
Why
Well,
not?
no.
Why not?
Vocals are just time in between guitar solos. We know that.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. Well then, boys, it was great to have you on. I just want to thank you for coming on, and looking forward to the debut album, and then for what you guys have coming down the pipeline.
Brilliant. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah, brilliant. Cheers.